One of these days you might walk into Best Buy's Geek Squad and find that they charge you over $150 just to install a hard drive. Hi, my name is Singh, and today I'm going to explain the process of installing a hard drive into a desktop computer. Now, you might wonder, why would someone want to change a hard drive? Now, one reason might be that the hard drive in the computer crashed and you want to swap it out. Another reason might be that you have to install an additional hard drive. An additional hard drive comes in handy when you want to make backup, or you want to back up your music or videos, etc. It's also good to install an additional hard drive because if one of the hard drive crashes, the data on the second hard drive won't be lost. Now, if you're going to swap out a hard drive, you want to make sure that you back up the data on the current hard drive into a DVD drive or an external hard drive. Now, to install a hard drive, you need the hard drive itself, you need the data cables, and you need the power cord that goes from the power supply into the hard drive. You might also need a Phillips screwdriver depending on the type of case you have. The case that I'm working with here doesn't, so it's still handy to have. Now, before you in today's market, there's two types of drives. One is the serial ATA type, SATA. It's been around for about 4 years and it's relatively common in today's computer. It's very easy to install. All you do is connect the data cable and the power cable and you're good to go. Now, the other hard drive that would pop up if you open up a computer older than 4 years would be the IDE drive. The IDE drive was basically the same looking type. The only difference was that it had additional jumper type settings. These jumper type settings you had to set that told the computer which drives were secondary and which drives were primary. Because they were slightly complicated, they're slowly phasing out, and these new SATA drives are most commonly used today. Now, before you open up the case, you want to make sure that you have the power cord unplugged, and some power supplies in the back have a switch. You want to make sure that it's turned off. After you've done that, you want to wait about 10 seconds to make sure that the electricity is all gone. I personally also like to press the power switch a couple of times just to make sure that all the power is sucked out. Now, opening the case is very easy. All you do is unscrew these screws here. Some cases have just clip-ons. You clip it down and pull the case down. This case that I'm working with has 2 screws here, so you just pull the screws out and slide the cover off. Now, once you open the case, you want to observe. You might notice that there's a lot of dust in there. Dust makes the computer slow over time. So it makes it slow because it blocks the air pathway to the components. So before you proceed, you want to remove all the dust from the components. You want to take a piece of cloth and wipe down all the dust. Once the dust is all gone, you want to identify the dry bay. Now, the dry bay is where the hard drive slide into. Now, this computer right here has the dry bay down here near the power switch. Once you locate the dry bay, you want to figure out what kind of dry bay it is. Now, most commonly, dry bay used today are just simply slide in and then you lock it. Some of the older dry bays require that you install these sliders on both sides of the hard drive. These hard drives have screw holes that you install the sliders and you slide it into the bay. Now, the one I'm working with here doesn't, so all you do is just take the hard drive and you slide it into the bay. Now, sometimes it might take you a couple of tries because you have to get it right into the bay, but eventually you will get it. Now, once you put in the hard drive into the bay, you want to make sure that it's secured tightly. Now, if you leave this hard drive loose, it might come out, it might damage itself, or it might damage other components. Now, for this case, to secure, all you do is push back and then you pull down. Then the hard drive is secured. Now, some of the other cases you might have to use a screwdriver to screw in the screws to secure it, but this case, well, so we just screw it in. Now, after you have secured in the hard drive, you want to connect the cables. Now, each hard drive requires two type of cables. One cable is the one that goes from the motherboard to the hard drive, which is called a data cable. If you're using one of the older IDE drives, you'll be using these bulky type of ribbon cables. This is really nasty. That's one of the reasons why the IDE drives are phasing out. Now, if you're using the new SATA drives, you'll be using this red type of black rectangle type of connectors. All you do is you connect one end to the hard drive and the other end to the motherboard. Now, once the data cable is connected, you move on to the power cable. The power cable will come from the power supply. Now, if you're using the old IDE drives, you'll have four type of connectors. Now, since we're working with the SATA drives, you'll have this black, white rectangle type of connector. All you do is take the connector, just like you took the data cable, and push it to the slot. Now, after you connected them, you want to make sure that they're tightly secured in. Once you've done that, you want to make sure that the only other step left is to make sure that other components in the hard drive are tightly secured in, because sometimes we hit a component and it becomes loose and it might become a problem later on in the computer's life. Once all that is secured in, you simply close the case, secure in the case clips or secures, and there you have it. You just learned how to install a new hard drive, and you probably just saved $150. Thank you.